So I've got another story to kind of add to my family just being a bunch of fake money hungry frauds. My step uncle was in my family for about 10 years, and he would be the creepy uncle that would like smack me on the butt, and nobody would ever say anything about it. I just kind of had to like survive through it essentially, eventually just got used to it. And I used to swear I came out of my aunt's vagina. Her name's Tracy Reed, Tracy Workman, Tracy Steffen now, and her husband's name was Brian Steffen. He worked for the government somehow, maybe in Illinois, I don't know. But man had so many guns, and it was just like kind of alarming, but like I smoked tree with them for the first time. Like my aunt was literally like my best friend. So one day they came over to my upstairs duplex on Ball State campus on Big Street, literally the size of a car, like 4 people could fit in my living room essentially. So they had left Big Shots Pub and driven their Harley over to come hang out or whatever. I'm assuming they were, intoxicated. So they come up the stairs to my unit, and my dog Louie, obviously you've heard him barking in some of these videos. He starts pointing his pistol at my dog, and he's like, "I'm gonna shoot you if you don't quit barking." And it made me so uncomfortable. So my divine counterpart ends up trying to just like change the narrative essentially, and he goes and grabs a revolver that he has, for just protection reasons in our home. It wasn't loaded. So he's trying to, sell this to him. And Brian was like, what am I supposed to do with this if there's no ammo in it? Where's the bullets? So, Jake proceeded to say, I don't keep it loaded because obviously, it's dangerous, but, So he goes and gets the bullet or whatever. And ironically enough, my aunt had answered a phone call from her lawyer. Apparently, they owned a couple properties, and apparently they were about to lose some of the properties, and she went to the back room and answered the phone call. She works for insurance companies. She's worked for the Dunnix and Muncie lawyers. Well, as she's in the back room, Brian, we're all talking, and we had just put up cameras too, because we were under, the impression that somebody had been breaking into our house. So as we're all talking, or just kind of trying to unwind from him pointing that at my dogs and just the uneasiness of it all, he grabs the bullet from Jake's hand and puts it it was a revolver, and he puts it in the chamber and starts spinning it. And he looks me dead in my eyes, because I'm sitting right across from him. And he looks me dead in his eyes with the smile of a Cheshire cat. Boom. All over my back wall. We didn't know what to do at the time. Freaking out, first thing I did was open up my door, and my dogs go running out. And my cousin was living across the way in one of their properties, and ironically enough, he opens the door and my dogs run into his house. And I, was telling him what happened, and really nobody seemed surprised. I mean, obviously I was in shock, so it felt like I was tripping anyways, but I don't know, it was just a really weird experience. And then the last 2 letters in his license plate on his Harley were Ha. So that's just burnt into my brain essentially. And my divine counterpart literally watched that video over and over and over again, because come to find out, they take us down to interrogate us, treat us like murderers, because he had thrown the piece, and because he didn't know, what the system around here is corrupt, and it's literally like a bunch of just high school jocks that, you know, now have a badge and even more power than what they had back in the day. So, and ironically enough, the detective just so happened to be Dalton Kurtz, which was my ex-boyfriend who used to beat me up, you know, cheat on me all the time. Um, we were roommates at the time, and he, you know, never paid me attention, always disrespected me, blah, 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 blah. So, like, I just thought that was weird. But I guess my aunt had basically alluded to the fact that she wasn't sure if we had anything to do with it, because she wasn't in the room. She basically ended up beating the system, and it wasn't claimed as as an unaliving, which 100% it was. So she obviously got a payout from that. And do you think that she offered to help us out financially, mentally? Because obviously, like, I have major PTSD from that. Like, and Jake swears it was supposed to be like a murder suicide, you know, 'cause I don't know if there is an insurance policy taken out on my life, but she got all kinds of money knowing dang well that he unalived himself. Guess they used to have like kinks to where they would, like, in order to get like romantically whatever, they would, you know, play Russian roulette. And as family, you know, like, or even just if I love somebody, like, I would protect them to the ends of the earth. Like, the cops kept asking, like, where's the peace? Where's the peace? And I held it down. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we had nothing to do with it. Like, he did, you know, like, check his fingers. Like, obviously, it was completely obvious that we were just victims, you know, of the traumatic event. So, but yeah, just to like think that, like, you know, I considered her my best friend slash mom, and she's, you know, in the room next to me, basically like saying that we're killers, just to get a little bit of money. And obviously, she wasted it. And like, if I were to ever get any kind of money like that, like, oh my God, I would be so proactive and I would use it to like change the world, you know? But no, she decided to buy METH and, you know, cars and whatever, whatever. So, but 2 years later, they ended up picking up my divine counterpart, and she didn't even offer to help pay for his lawyer or bail. I had to pay like $1,000 to get him out. 2 years later, they arrested him on obstruction of justice and possession of a stolen firearm. And I'm just like starting to piece together stuff now, you know, like maybe he was supposed to unalive me. Like, nothing has been the same since. And I just can't believe there's people out there that would literally sacrifice others in order to have some kind of financial gain, monetary, materialistic gain. And, you know, then they're the first. It's just, I don't know if there's anything I can do or if anybody has any like advice. But yeah, he, that day it's just embedded into me and my brain, and it's just crazy. And I really hope that something comes out of it, because it just goes along with everything that's been happening behind the scenes. And at that time, I trusted and loved those people with my life, and I never should have.